Guitar Stuff with John.
Welcome to a very, very special Guitar Stuff with John. You know from watching this channel that I've I love guitars and I love talking about them, and I try to share all that with you guys as much as possible. And just quickly before we start, if you haven't hit subscribe, please do so. If you'd like to join the membership, do that too. If you want to send us a tip, hit the tip jars in the description. There you go. There's the business out of the way. And we appreciate your help and your continued support here. I enjoyed living on YouTube this way because I'm getting to share things with my viewership that I wouldn't normally ever get a chance to talk about or share in any way. And so I want to tell you a short story, and then I'm going to show you something that's going to blow your mind, because it's blown mine. And so you all know that I have a very serious bond with Robin Boucher. And I've been working with him and playing his guitars for 5 years now. And I own 8 of them. And they're just the best guitars I've ever played. And so something happened in January, just before the pandemic struck. I drove, me and Bill actually drove from here, Halifax, out to Los Angeles, California, to take the road trip, of course, but also to go to the NAMM show, the North American Music Merchandise Convention in Anaheim. And we were going there, of course, to work with Robin. He had a private suite off the main exhibit floor where people could come in relative silence and hear and play the guitars. And we had a place out on the exhibit floor where we performed 3 or 4 times a day. And we hung out. We got to hang out with Robin and be guitar players and love his work. And we saw a whole bunch of other people's, guitars and equipment, and an incredible weekend. It was just a really special time. So there came a point during that weekend where Robin, as he does, walked up to me and said, "Come with me." And I didn't know where he was taking me. And he took me out on the exhibition floor. And he took me to the Thompson guitar booth. And I was thinking, this is odd, right? Obviously, one of his competitors, there are many. There's 100 different boutique guitar builders in North America. But I know Robin's mind about guitars and builders, and he's such a fan of it. It doesn't matter who it is. And he took me out to the Thompson booth and introduced me to the company, to the people there. And he literally helped me pick out a Dreadnought guitar. And he handed it to me. He said, "Try this guitar." And so I did, and it was incredible. And he had been talking to them without my knowledge. I didn't know what was going on. He had been talking to them about endorsing me. I may get emotional during this, so I'm sorry if I do. But so they offered me an endorsement and this incredible Dreadnought, at an artist's price, and which was still way too high, way more than I could afford. And we walked away from this booth with a deal for me with Thompson. And I couldn't believe it. I was thinking to myself, the first thing in my mind was, did I do something wrong? Is he trying to get rid of me? And I looked over at him and I said, why in the world did you do that? And he looked at me and he said, in only the way Robin can say these things, he looked at me and he said, JP, he said, when I help you, I help me. So that's the kind of man he is. And although I didn't get that guitar and wasn't able to do, a formal deal with them for financial reasons, I was incredibly moved by that. So he told me later on, Robin told me later on, he felt it was important that I become affiliated with an American builder as well, because the market is there. He knows I will always talk about him and always have his guitars on hand. And he wants me to succeed. He wanted me to succeed. He wants me to succeed in both markets. And he said, it's important that you work with an American builder. And that's a whole other place for you to be, So, to make a long story short, I know it's long already. When I got the opportunity to speak to this specific company that I'm about to unveil for you, I had no trepidation whatsoever asking if they would build me an instrument and if I could represent them here and in the United States. And so I went to an amazing legacy guitar company that started in the 60s, much the same way as Robin started. A cabinet maker from Wartrace, Tennessee, started to build guitars, and he built his own equipment to mass produce, 200 or 300 guitars a year. Built the stuff. Mega players started playing his instruments. And slowly, the founder passed away, the son took over, things happened, the company kind of folded, and then it restarted just a few years ago in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, where they literally fired up the founder's original equipment and revamped it, started building guitars with it, with the old recipes, with fantastic woods. And it's like a carbon copy of Robin's story. Robin took over Boucher from family and redesigned the recipes and started new ways of machining, so-called machining. Not really, it's all done by hand, but the jigs and the patterns and the little machines they use to do certain things that are repetitive. And I thought, this is a perfect match. And not only that, but the biggest reason that it's a perfect match for me, and I'm sure Robin would agree because he knows, I've talked to him about this. This guitar builder in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, is the company that built the guitar for one of my greatest heroes of all time. And the first time I ever saw one of these guitars on an album cover being held by Doc Watson, I wanted one. And I was 10. And I'm 51 now. So 41 years it took me to finally own a Gallagher guitar. The Gallagher G70. Rosewood back and sides. Mahogany neck. This is the guitar of choice for Doc. I think he actually played a mahogany version, perhaps a G50. But this guitar, that headstock, when I used to see that when I was a kid, I used to lose my mind. And of course, there's the famous conversation between Doc Watson and Merle Travis on the Will the Circle Be Unbroken album, where Merle looks at Doc and goes, "Who built that guitar? That guitar rings like a bell." Well, this is the guitar. And I owe this relationship to Robin. And the people at Gallagher, David and his luthiers, are tremendously beautiful people. And I was able to choose this guitar from two, and they're just like Robin. They're some of the nicest people I've ever talked to on the phone, and they consider what they do an art form, which it is. It's an incredible art form to build instruments that move people emotionally and bring about long childhood memories, But this guitar is quite incredible. And I'm gonna throw the mic directly in front of her here so you can really hear this instrument. And I can't begin to tell you. I'm still a little bit in shock that I own this thing. But here it is. Wow. So there she is, folks. A true dream instrument. The same way that I suppose people would, electric players would give anything to have that Les Paul Gold Top or a Telecaster, a Fender Broadcaster from the 50s, or any number of instruments that we put on a pedestal. Through my association with Robin Boucher, I was given the credibility and frankly, the courage to ask a company like this one if they would build me a guitar and call me one of their artists. And they said yes. And so I have not many words left for the whole situation. This is one of the proudest moments I've ever had, only surpassed by getting my signature model from Robin. This is a dream come true, to own this instrument and feel as close as I do to Doc. I feel like I've entered some strange realm where if I play this guitar loud enough, he'll hear me. So anyhow, there you go. There's a very special edition of Guitar Stuff with John. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you get to see me play this guitar, outfitted with a K&K pickup, of course, put in by the boys at Gallagher in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Yeah, and there's more things to come. There's some very exciting things to come yet in the next few months with guitars and with Robin and Recording King and K&K and all the people that are gathering around me like a family. And it's a great feeling. And I'm proud that you guys enjoy the channel and you're talking to me and the comments are great and String Theory goes well every Wednesday night. It's amazing. So there you go. The Gallagher G70. Just an incredible work of art made by a true American legacy company. And so here's to them and to Doc Watson and Merle Watson and the whole Watson family. And I hope they see this, and I hope they know that I love all of them, and the world loves them. At least the world of guitar would have never been the same without Doc and without this company. So there you go. We'll see you next time. Stay safe and play guitar. That's the safest way you can live. Just play guitar. Nothing will get you. All right. I love you guys. Bye.